The reality is that you don't need a 1600 to get into these schools. Hi everyone! In this video series, I'm going to be sharing the entire application, word for word, that got me into an Ivy League school as an international student from India. But first, I make videos about college applications, the SAT, lifestyle, vlogs, and more. So please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. Now, let's get into it. Most college applications have 8 components. In this part, I will be sharing my grades and my test scores. The other components will be covered in the rest of this 5-part series, so make sure you stay tuned for that. For each component, I will first be sharing what I put in my application and then giving you my tips on how you can make your application stand out. So let's get into it with my school grades. In 9th and 10th grade, I did a local Indian curriculum called the ICSC, where we take 10 subjects. I will put my transcripts on the screen here and here. I have a whole other video on how I study for exams so I can easily get these kind of scores, so make sure to check that out by clicking the top right eye or the link in the description. In 11th and 12th grade, I moved to the International Baccalaureate, or IB. In this program, you normally take 6 subjects with 3 higher levels, 3 standard levels, and you also complete the core of the diploma, which is Theory of Knowledge, a sort of real-world philosophy course. You write a 4,000-word extended essay, and you do something called CAS, or Creativity Activity Service, which basically ensures that you're a holistic individual. In the IB, I took 4 higher-level classes and 3 standard-level classes, as well as doing the core. And these are the scores I got. Now, jumping to what you should do, it doesn't matter which curriculum you do. If you're doing the ICSE, CBSE, the IB, A-levels, IGCSE, it doesn't matter, as long as you do well. Something that colleges also really like is for you to challenge yourself. So for example, instead of taking 3 higher level classes, I took 4, which means extra work, but it's also a way to show that I was really dedicated to my academics and that I really wanted to learn. Now, a lot of curriculums don't allow you to take extra classes at school, but you can always look for online resources, basically anything to show that you're passionate about academics. So 2 things to take away here: take challenging classes and do the best you can. Now, doing the best you can doesn't always mean getting straight A's or 100%. There are some general trends that you should show. 1, it's important to show improvement. If you start off not doing well in a subject, but then towards the end you show a significant increase, that's a good idea. 2nd, it's okay to have a small dip in grades between 10th and 11th grade, which is pretty common, and even between 9th and 10th grade. Admissions officers know that the curriculum gets more challenging and it's okay to struggle, but what's important is that after that you rebound and you come back with high grades. In fact, that may even be a bonus because then you can show that you know how to overcome challenges and persevere. And finally, your grades are only one small part of your 8-component application. If you're not the best student academically, that's not a problem. You have 7 other components in which you can really show your potential to colleges. The best thing about US universities is that they do a holistic review, which means that having bad grades won't disqualify you if you have amazing extracurriculars or amazing essays. Now, coming to test scores. The 2 main tests accepted by universities are the SAT and the ACT. If you're unsure about which one to take, just take a practice test and see how you do. Personally, I took the SAT in December of my junior year and I got a 1570. Honestly, with the SAT, it's not as hard as people think. It's just a test, and once you understand the design and pattern, you can easily do well. I have a whole other video on how I got my SAT score with just a few weeks of practice, so make sure you check that out here or in the link in the description. I also took 2 SAT subject tests. I took Math Level 2 and Physics, and I got an 800 on both. Coming to AP exams, I only took 1, which was AP Computer Science, and I got a 5. One of the most common questions I get is, what SAT score do I need? How many APs should I take to get into Ivy League schools? So I'll explain a little bit about each part of my standardized testing. First, the SAT or ACT is now optional, but I still highly recommend that you take it. School grades can differ a lot, not just between countries, but even between schools in the same country. So standardized testing is the only way that they can reliably compare your academic potential to people from all over the world. So if you are in a place where you can safely sit the SAT and get a good score, I would 100% recommend that you do it. Now coming to subject sats. They've now been cancelled, but AP exams are a great alternative. The only downside is they're only offered once a year, so I would suggest you take it in May of your 11th grade and make sure that you register early. Now, coming to AP exams. If you're doing the IB or if you're doing A-levels, I don't recommend taking AP exams because you get college credits anyways. If you're doing an Indian curriculum or any other local international curriculum, I would recommend that you take 4 to 5 AP exams and do well in them, because when you get to university, they'll actually give you credits for it, which means that you can skip those basic courses and move on to advanced coursework as soon as you get there. It also saves you time and money. Another great thing about AP exams is that if you haven't done well in school, you can use these to make up for that. For example, if your school grades are below 90%, having a strong 5 out of 5 on an AP exam immediately tells the admissions officers that you're really good at that subject. I've seen so many people do this, and it works. So if you haven't done that great in school, make sure you sign up for AP exams during 11th grade. When it comes to preparing for these, there are so many online resources that you can use. You can order books from Amazon, but personally, I like the playlist that College Board has on YouTube. It covers all the content in a very easy to understand way. I would also recommend doing past papers. Just this YouTube playlist and past papers were enough for me to get a 5. Finally, remember that grades and SAT scores are just one small part of your application. No one is going to disqualify you because you don't have a 1600 or because you're not a school topper. In my opinion, your extracurriculars and your essays, which I will talk about in part 2 and 3, have much more weightage in this whole holistic review process. That's all for my stats video. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will respond 100%. If you found this video helpful, please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe so you can stay tuned for the rest of my college admissions playlist. You can watch my SAT playlist and other videos here. I'll see you in the next video.